whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
Hello, and thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. It's a gorgeous, chilly morning once again, and we're going to have some fun. I do want to remind you guys, though, and thank you to everybody that's been filling out the survey that I put out at the beginning of the year. It's still up. If you want to take it, just go in the show notes. I believe I made it the first link. If you go into today's show description, I made a separate video at the beginning of the year. But if you guys want to weigh in on the show, what you like, what you don't like, what you like to see, what you like to see less of, any ideas, please fill out the survey because I'm still keeping it up for a little bit longer. Also, you guys can email me. My email's on the screen right there, the Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. If you have any questions, I apologize. I should have brought it up. Who was it that, it's one of you guys that's one of our regulars, was emailing about the countdown that we do at the beginning of the show, Kim. And I was like, and someone's like, they were making it sound like somebody at some other podcast stole it. I was like, no. It's a common thing on StreamYard. They give you the countdown and then you can add to it if you want to. So I added, all the little sound bites and stuff behind it. But yeah, don't worry about it. Nobody's stealing anything from me. But I appreciate you guys reaching out and asking me questions, sending me story ideas. I really do appreciate it. So if you want to, there's the email, the NikkiMedoroShow.com. Of course, click the thumbs up button each and every show. We love it. But we also love support for the show, financial support. We're 100% crowdfunded. So the super chat is live. Look for the $ right in the live chat box. Throw us a couple dollars in the super chat, super thanks, super comment. If you do it live, we'll read it live on the show. And then become an official Medorable. And it's simple. Just go to the NikkiMedoroShow.com. Our Patreon link is right there. And you can donate whatever amount you want. I have not created tiers yet. That's another survey that I want to do, though. And I'm going to make it a separate one. Is, if you want to do a Patreon, or even if you're a PayPal supporter, if you're helping crowdfund the show, what other ways would you like to interact outside of the show that would maybe, give you what you want from the show. But I'm always taking ideas. But anyways, sign up for our monthly Patreon. If, this is the number one way that we kind of fund the show. So if you can afford it, whatever you can afford, just go to patreon.com or go to the NikkiMedoroShow.com and our Patreon link is there. PayPal, of course, the email is the NikkiMedoroShow at gmail.com. And Kim, you were telling me right before we went on air that the kids are all back at school. Hooray!
It was hard because you have a teenager, I have a teenager.
Yes.
And I don't know about yours, but every day of winter break, she would sleep in till around noon.
Oh, later,
Right?
Kim. I
Okay.
mean, it's like, get out of your room.
And so when you have to wake up at 7 in the morning to be at school by 8:05 or
Oh,
8:30 or whatever,
yeah, exactly.
there was I heard a bunch of yelling and hollering, and it was rough stuff. Yeah.
I love that you heard it, but you were not part of it. It's like,
Was
yeah,
not part
that's
of
some
it.
nonsense happening I'm not going to deal with right now.
Apparently there was water being squirted on people. It was
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it was a
no.
rough time over here. I have to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Today is my niece's 17th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And her name is Ashlyn.
Uh-huh.
And my sister leaves the tree up every year
Mm-hmm.
and turns it into a birthday tree.
I love
And so,
that.
because it was always in years past, she's
How
like, I've got to get the
cute.
tree out right after Christmas, and stressed out, like I have to clear out all the holiday decorations to make sure that, it's birthday and
Right.
the two aren't mixed. Well, now she's embraced it and she's like, you know what?
Nice.
I'm not going to stress out. I'll
Yeah.
take the ornaments down and I'm just going to make it into a birthday tree. So for the last couple of years, birthday tree,
I
and how
love that
fun is
idea. I
that?
love that idea,
Yeah.
especially when you have a birthday so close to Christmas, right?
Mhm.
It's so
Yep.
hard to feel. And again, I don't have one, but I know people that have birthdays either on Christmas or a day before, a day after, or in January. My nephew's birthday is Friday, Oh, it was Friday the 12th, I think. And so, it's hard. And he always has to remind me, he's like, my birthday is coming up because
Mhm.
everyone kind of forgets because we
Right.
just gave you a gift. So I love that tree idea. Absolutely, absolutely love it.
I
So
love the
happy
fact
birthday to her.
that my sister is, like, done stressing over it, you
Yeah,
know? It's like, what else can we do here? And it turns out this tradition, they love it. So, yeah, this is this year's birthday
that is
tree.
so
Pretty cool.
awesome.
Happy birthday,
Um,
Ash.
are
Woohoo.
your so all your Christmas stuff is down?
So, over the weekend, I took all the ornaments off the tree and packed them away.
Mhm.
The tree itself still stands in the living room, but it is going next.
I have everything still up. I was supposed to do it this past weekend, and then I went out with one of my friends, and then Sunday we were like watching football, and I'm like, I should really get going on that, and I just didn't. So this week, I'm not even gonna say today. I've got so much stuff on my list for today, so I'm not even gonna
Mhm.
say today, but I'm gonna try to get it down. I feel no guilt though. I will tell
Yeah.
you a story. Back in the day, in my 20s, I remember I was living with a bunch of roommates at the time and my then boyfriend, now husband. And,
Mhm.
not even lying, we have this room in our old house. So when you walk into the house, it's kinda like what would be the living room, but we never hung out there. But that's where we put the Christmas tree. And not only do we put the Christmas tree, but we put it so far into the room that when you walked into the house, you didn't even see it, right? You had to go into the room to see the Christmas tree.
Mhm.
We had that freaking thing up until April. I'm not even kidding because we never went in the room. That one of my
That's
good
so
friends came
funny.
over. I mean, there was nothing on it. Like all the decorations were off, but
Mhm.
she walks and she's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, we got to take that out at some point." She grabbed it and it was so dead that and dragged
Oh.
my house through the front door all the way down the street. It was just this pile of pine, like the needles everywhere. And I was like,
Oh god.
it was so embarrassing because it's not like she was gonna get out the broom to sweep
Mhm.
these. So all you saw down my neighborhood was this line of needles
Of
that led
dead
all the
needles.
way to my doorstep. Like, I
You
wonder where
see
this
this
tree came
happen.
from.
You see this happen. You see people in, like, March or April, and the
Mhm.
Christmas tree is outside, and you're like, "What the hell is
Where
going on?" Do you judge people that do that, or are you just like, "Hey, I have
Oh,
been
I
there."
feel you. No, I go, "You know what? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
judge you. That used to be me. I'm really
Yeah.
gonna try to get the damn thing. I wanna get it out of it while the garbage man will still take it for free, right? I mean, because at some point, they won't take your tree anymore. You gotta figure it out yourself. And so, yeah, we
Our
gotta get the
garbage
tree out.
people only take it one day, and it's, like, 3 days after Christmas. Like, that's the only day they'll come pick up your tree.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, because we
Otherwise,
have 2. We have the front one and the inside one, so I really hope they take it.
if they don't take it then, if you miss the date, which is, like, again, 3 days after Christmas,
Right.
then they'll take it for free if you drop it off
Drop it off where?
at the
At
garbage place.
Oh, well, I guess I mean, you could do
But
that.
then you have to, like, put it back on the roof of your car and haul it
No.
all the way down there. At this point, it's easier just to chop it up and put it in the green bin.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah,
it's gonna be my husband's job, not like I
yeah,
love how I talk like I'm gonna do it. I'm
I
gonna
know.
take all the ornaments off, and then he's gonna take the tree out and do something with it. Our
And
garbage day is tomorrow, so maybe I should be doing it tonight. I don't know.
this is the point where where I currently sit. I have done my portion.
Exactly.
Now
Now you do
he has
yours.
done his portion, has to do his portion.
And Calvin, I have not put the lights on this tree since I came back from Arizona. Like
Fire hazard.
it's
Yeah.
not on. It's just standing there and tilted. This tree, the bottom base was not cut flat. Like it's been cockeyed the whole entire time. So yeah, we're trying. We're trying, but it's hard to look at, the Epiphany if you celebrate
Mhm.
that. I mean, technically, we're not too many days away from that. So not too late. But yeah, it's going to definitely happen by this weekend.
Liz is on
Um,
it. Woo!
I'm holding on. There's so many. I drove around last night. There's so many people that still have their lights on their house. We still have our lights on. Which that's going to be something to tell because it's supposed to rain. I feel like it's going to rain
Mhm.
tomorrow. And I feel like there's more rain coming. And if it's raining,
Yeah.
there's no friggin' way that my husband's going to get up on the roof. So let's see. So it's supposed to rain tomorrow and then Saturday, of course. But Sunday, we don't have any football. The Niners aren't playing. So there's a ton of football this weekend, but the Niners are not playing because we got the bye week. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, it's today we have some showers and some breeze. According to ABC7, we've got showers on Wednesday,
Mhm.
sunshine on Thursday, increased clouds on Friday, and then the rain is back Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
So, it's unsettled weather, as they like to
mhm,
say.
yep.
Let's talk a little bit about some interesting pictures. Well, really just one that's gone viral. Joe Coy, by the way, who hosted the Golden Globes, we talked about that yesterday. He's on the media circuit explaining why he sucked so bad. I didn't think he was that bad. He was nothing to write home about. But did you see this picture? I love this picture. That is Paul Giamatti.
Oh, it's the
After
best.
winning
Yeah.
what Kim calls a sex toy award from the Golden Globes at In-N-Out Burger. And I was right. The reason why I wanted to talk about that is, one, it's cool that he went to In-N-Out in Southern
Yeah.
California after the thing. But remember when we were talking about the award yesterday, I was like, it didn't always look like that. Patton Oswalt, this was obviously before that. That's what the Golden Globe used to look like.
That's right.
And it was way nicer. It didn't look so phallic.
Exactly.
Ricky Gervais agrees with you, though, Kim. He won for his latest Netflix special. And he posted a picture of himself, and I'm not going to show it, but there's like, if you can imagine, kind of water or squirt emoji like all around
Oh,
it. So yeah, I think that he agrees with you about
yeah.
how that award looks. But I think hosting is a thankless job. People that watched it, some people didn't like it. Some people thought he made sexist jokes, especially when it came to Taylor Swift and Barbie. Yada yada yada. It's if you sign up for it, you got to take it on the chin most of the time. So sorry, Joe Coy. Apparently, I've never seen this stand up. He's extremely funny, according to everybody that's ever seen him. So I wouldn't put too much stock in the award show. It's a tough gig that I wouldn't want to do, anyways.
Oh, are you sure? Because Stephanie says that's an Emmy, not a Golden Globe.
Oh, shoot. Oh, I thought the Golden Globe was, hold on, award. I thought it was that other one, but maybe you're right. Maybe it is an Emmy. You're right.
It's an
Versus
Emmy.
the
Yeah.
Emmy.
Thanks,
Oh,
Stephanie. We appreciate it.
I don't appreciate it. Thanks. All right, here we go. Yeah, so hold on. So, yeah, Emmys and Golden Globe. You're right. Here, I'll show the screen to compare them both. You're absolutely correct. Boo. I obviously was so there they are.
Yeah.
So the Emmys on the right and the Golden Globes. I mean, it makes sense. It does look like a globe when you look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a murder. I mean, honestly, can't you see it as like a murder weapon? I guess you
Totally.
could see both as a murder weapon, the spikes of the Emmy.
No, that Golden Globe looks like a heavy duty ball. That's yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. Well, another thing that's interesting, I was just talking about football. Do you realize, and I don't know, and I know that there's not necessarily people that follow football this quickly, but did you know what Peacock has gotten into? Apparently, Peacock has bought the exclusive rights to stream one of the biggest games this weekend. One of the playoff games is between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins. And a New York radio host, Mike Francesca, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't listen to him. He's blasting the NFL for making it on the Peacock. So you have to basically subscribe to Peacock if you want to watch the game. I don't know how I feel
Randy
about
says he's
this.
not doing it. Not watching the KC Miami NFL game this weekend because it's only being streamed on Peacock,
Yes.
and I refuse to pay for it. I hear you.
Amazon has some of the rights. I don't know if you can, if it's on Amazon on something else. I think Amazon got Thursday Night Football, if I'm correct. I should have done the research on that. I apologize. But yeah, not paying to see the game. I'm wondering, I mean, doesn't Peacock offer like a free trial? Can't you just try it for free to watch the game and then cancel it all of a sudden? I mean, Randy, did you even look to see if you could do something like that? It's genius for Peacock. I'm just wondering if it's going to pay off because they paid $100 million. That's the deal for one game. $100 million. I would assume under the thinking that they're going to get a buttload of subscribers for it and they're going to stay. I really do feel like people are going to try the free trial. Kim has a good point though. Kim says, I just go to the sports bar so I can keep an eye on all the games since my cable package only allows one or two of the games anyway. That's a good idea. Except my problem with watching games at the sports bars, it's way more expensive. You're buying food, you're buying drinks. It's cheap at home. Calvin says it's $6 a month for Peacock. Calvin, do they offer free trials? Because if you don't have Peacock, sign up for it for the weekend, watch the game, and then cancel it. I mean, no harm, no foul, I guess. Randy says, no, I did not look to see if there's a free trial. I would, if I was Peacock, I wouldn't allow it, at least not this weekend, right? Don't offer it this weekend to get people to sign up. Peacock was having a free sign up trial just for the game. So there you go. I don't know what I watch on Peacock. I think actually I watched The Holdovers on Peacock. That movie with Paul Giamatti that he won the Golden Globe. So there are pirate streams, John. We're not going to be promoting those. I don't want to get people in trouble. Somebody sent me an email about streaming services yesterday when we were talking about it. And even though this streaming, platform or app or whatever says don't pirate and don't steal it, that's exactly what the freaking thing is. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people are necessarily going to keep Peacock just for the one game, but it might, if you figure that some of them will sign up and forget to cancel, or sign up and then see what else is on there, and that might keep them. But this is how our society is right now. We cut the cord with cable, and now we pay out the ass for all these streaming services. That's just the way it is. I hear you, Billy. The pirate streams are amazing though. Yeah, and they're free. And I get it. I mean, they're price gouging you. They're nickel and diming everywhere. Yellowstone's on Square. Okay, so that's one. I feel like Yellowstone's on a bunch of things. Is it only on Peacock? Joanne says, I signed up for a free trial and I enjoy Peacock so much that I'm keeping it. That is the exact comment that Peacock is hoping people will have. Randy says you can get a free Peacock trial, but you have to sign up for an Instacart 2-week free trial as well. Well, it's free on free on free. I just feel like if you want to watch the game, you could just go through a little bit of the effort. It's not that hard. Go to a bar, do whatever, but it's quite the gamble for the NFL to give it to Peacock. If you have Xfinity, apparently, according to Walnut Creek Adult Softball, $2.99 for subscribers. It's an Xfinity deal if you have Xfinity for Peacock. So there's that. All right. People spend money on all kinds of things, all kinds of crazy things. Remember Stanley Roberts, Cron, he does the bad drivers or whatever. He posted this video of something else that people are spending a buttload of money on that I do understand. We do have a few of these. I would not do what I'm about to show you because there's no freaking way in hell I have that much free time on my hands. But whether it's $2.99 or $6.99 for a streaming service to watch your favorite football game, or if it's to wait in line at the butt crack of dawn for a cup, people will make their choices. Here's a video that Stanley Roberts shared.
We spent the night at Target for the new Stanley Starbucks cup. Yes, I know what you're thinking. It's a cup. What are you doing? On the other hand, I love my daughter and we were bored. So we got there like at 1:40 in the morning and it was a ghost town because it was Target in the middle of the night. But once we saw the cup, we knew we were in the right spot. We brought the new puppy with us and just waited for people to show up. And they did. So we hopped out of the car, brought the chairs and made sure we were first in line. So it was almost 3 o'clock in the morning and that's when people started to show up. I mean, these people are dedicated. We just watched one by one and the line was massive and it was cold, like 40 degrees cold, but we got through it and I ordered Whataburger delivered in line. So if you know, you know. How you doing? At this point, the store's about to open and look at this line. Guys, are we okay? No. The answer is no. This lady came out to make sure we didn't burn the place down. And once the doors were open, it was go time. And for the most part, it was pretty calm. There wasn't much looting or rioting, just a few small fires. That's it. And finally, we got one. Just one, because Target's doing this one Stanley per household thing. I don't know. Either way, we're tired, we're hungry, it's over, and it's time to enjoy the sweet taste of victory. Thank you. We spent the night.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to spend 1:30 in the morning. He said he went.
Wow.
We're bored. If it's 1:30 in the morning and you're bored, go to bed. Go to bed. You do not need to do that.
Those cups are like $50.
They're $50 a piece. And they always have been. There's a whole meme now going on about the original Stanley Cup that was like the thermos with the cup on the top, which was the old school one, right? And then they had a glow up. If there's ever been a glow up for a cup, it's Stanley. And now they have the handle with the straw, which I find to be completely ridiculous because you can't put it in your bag. You literally have to hold it. But and I'm not going to say, I'm not trying to be gender, whatever, stereotypical, but it's mainly girls that love these cups, right?
Well, it was a flop they put all this money into these big cups that fit
Mhm.
into your cup holder,
Right.
but no one wanted these expensive cups until I was
Mm.
reading the other day, a
Mm.
mom blogger got a hold of it. And this group of moms made this thing popular, these in momfluencers, and so all of a sudden, all these moms wanted these $45, $50 Stanley cups. And then they
Insane.
started coming out with all these different colors. And then they had the Starbucks one, and
No.
they have different ones. So like Dick's Sporting Goods has special ones that they sell, and all these retailers have like their special deal with Stanley cups that it's their, and so now you have this craze going on. It's
Yep.
wild. I'm
I
telling
mean,
you.
there's when you see people storming, or going to a store really early and buying things. This isn't the first time. I mean, everyone goes back to like the Cabbage Patch craze and people have spent money on nonsense, pet
Mhm.
rocks, right? I mean, all sorts of things. There's a whole thread about all the ridiculous things that people bought that you're like, are you serious? So to judge this generation for loving a Stanley Cup, I get it. $50 for a cup is a lot. And what blows my mind is some people will show off on social media like an entire cupboard
It's
full
crazy.
of these
Yeah.
Stanley Cups. And I'm like, how many? I have a Stanley, but it's not one of those with the handle. It's a skinny one that I use for the gym. I think I spent $20 on it at the grocery
Mhm.
store. I mean, it's white. I could throw it in my bag. It doesn't leak. My daughter has, I think she has one or two. And then we just have the generic cups. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a Stanley, but it's not a Stanley. And I like it because it keeps my ice cold. I will put ice in my Stanley, the skinny one, and I'll throw it in the fridge. And the next morning I come out and it's really cold and the ice stays and it's great. And I love it, but it's not life changing. It's not, I'm going to stay up till 1:30 in the morning and sit outside in the cold outside of Target to get one. I think that's just all hype.
Mm.
But I will say this, Stanley Mania could be good for your health. And the reason why I say it is not because of the Stanley Cup in general, but it's because of this new study that came out regarding bottled water. It contains, oh my God, 250,000 nanoplastics that are so small.
Mhm.
Researchers say they can invade your body's cells. Okay. An average of 240,000 plastic particles in 1 liter of water, of which 90% were identified as these nanoplastics. And they say
They're the
it's
size of
actually coming from the bottle itself,
they're
right?
the
It's,
size of a virus. I
yeah.
mean, and they get into your bloodstream and
And
like,
your brain and
oh,
it
Jesus.
literally, you start to become literal
What are we
plastic.
doing to ourselves? Come
Well,
on.
the research, I was reading into this and they're still trying to research what, if any, health impacts there are, because obviously it sounds bad, right? It doesn't sound like this is going to be good for us. It
Mhm.
doesn't sound like nanoplastics, microplastics getting into our cells, which gets into our bloodstream, which gets into our brain, which gets into our, all of this, right? It doesn't sound like that in any way, shape, or form can be good. But we don't know exactly. And the research is still out on that. But what they say is stop drinking bottled water
Mhm.
in these plastic bottles. Stop it. So, in a way, Stanley or whatever kind of water, reusable water jug, cup that you use is good for your health. Now, of course, you want to make sure it's not lined with like
That's
PCBs
the
or
kind I
whatever.
have.
Like a
Hydro
hydro
flask.
flask. That was like 20, what? 2020 or 2019, 2018. Remember, everyone had
Oh,
a hydro flask.
back when those were the in thing to have.
Exactly. Everyone
Yeah.
has their like thing, but
And
yeah,
they
the
were
hydro
expensive
flasks.
too, but
Yes.
I still have it. I still use it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And my best friend, she
Mhm.
loves the hydro flask. I mean, because it holds the ice and it stays
Mhm.
cold for so long and they're gigantic. That's
Yeah.
the other thing. It's just some of these are so big. It's like, what do you carry? You're getting your like arm workout in simply for doing that. But yeah, you have to turn away from plastic. If it's in your earthquake kit, right? You have the bottled water or whatever, that's one thing. But even that, if you just have the little plastic bottles, you're supposed to replace those because of what they're saying. The plastic gets into the water and it's not good. We need
Mhm.
to use reusable water containers to drink out of every single day. Drink tap water. If you want a Brita, I'm seeing it in the comments. If you have a Brita or something like that. But what they were also saying in this study is the membrane that takes out other contaminants from water is also a source of this microplastic
Oh God.
because that's what they use. The plastic
Mhm.
industry is everywhere. the petroleum, all of that. Remember those commercials? Plastic. It was like plastic was so good. Not this, not everything. And not when it's getting into ourselves. But yeah, stainless steel water bottle, very good idea. I drink water out of my fridge. It comes through the same as my sink water. It just a little bit of a filter in the fridge, and that's what I drink. I do not like to drink bottled water. Sometimes I do if I'm out on the road and I need something to drink and I don't have any water. Of course, then I'm going to get it. But I really, really try not to. I love those new water fountains that have the filter. You put the thing down and automatically comes out and it tells you how many water bottles it saved from going into the planet. Yeah, those are the popular Stanley. They also teamed up with Starbucks, right? And so that went crazy. I don't know, man. It's just it's a bit of a craze.
I guess I'd rather spend $50 on one of these Stanley Cups than I would, suck down microplastics. But the problem is, look at the lid is even plastic on this thing, isn't it?
Right. But you're not, and in the straw, right? Now they do make silicone straws.
I was going to say, unless it's silicone.
Right. And I don't know. I don't think that those are. I think they are plastic. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that nothing on the cup is plastic, but the container itself is steel or stainless steel. And yeah, or aluminum. I don't know what it's made out of. But yeah, but it's not putting microplastics like a water bottle into your water to drink it. I do not drink out of stainless steel straws because I've watched too many horror movies and I always feel like I'm going to impale my. No, I'm not even kidding. My son laughs at me all the time because he always drinks out of these. And every time I get one, I throw it away. I go, nope, we're not drinking out of these. He's like, why are you throwing away these stainless steel straws? I'm like, because you're going to fall and it's going to impale the back of your head. So I don't like them. I like the silicone straws that can bend if you fall. It's happened, Kim. I've talked about this before. It has happened. People have hurt themselves and I just can't get it out of my mind. So I am not a stainless steel straw user. I prefer the silicone. I have washed it. I have the straw washer. It's fine. But yeah, so get a reusable water cup because I'm sorry, the microplastics are getting into our bodies.
So funny.
I have one more story before we get to your headlines. Okay.
All right. You know what? I do some weird stuff too. I have to tell you.
What's your weird thing? Do you want to share?
I sleep with. I've said it before. I sleep with my hair over my ears at night so that spiders can't crawl in.
But they go in your mouth anyway.
Stop it. I have some superstitions about this. I feel like if I can cover my ears up and make it hard for them to get in, they won't go. And so it makes me feel better.
What would happen if they did? They'd lay eggs and then they'd come crawling out of your ear.
Yep. And I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I read a study, the mouth thing, because spiders going into your mouth, people are like, there's no way a spider is going to go into your mouth.
Yeah.
Between the breath and everything like that. Your ear, I could see that happening. I could actually. I'm sorry about that. That sucks. You know what you could do? You could just get earplugs like I do. I never worry about it because I have earplugs.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to hear anything. And I love not hearing anything. They crawl up your nose, Billy says.
What if something happens in the middle of the night and people are crying?
Oh, I hear it. Believe me. And if something's happening, guess who has to get up? Guess whose husband elbows her? And just like, something's happening out there. Get up.
Hey, they need you. Something's happening.
That's me. Yeah. Exactly. All right. I want you to be proud of me. I'm going to break my arm patting myself on the back. Guess what I did yesterday? So I had to run a bunch of errands. I had to take my daughter to the doctor's appointment. I had to take her to tutoring. And so I'm running around. And of course, right, hungry, need to eat something. What was I talking about yesterday? Trying to make healthy decisions, right?
Right.
I visited a place that was by my old house. There used to be a Subway. Okay. This is on Capitol Expressway near McLaughlin. Okay. There used to be a Subway and they replaced it with this place and it's called Raw Food Super Cafe. Okay. Oh. And I was like, okay, let me take a look. Let me see this. Let me see what's. So my daughter wanted McDonald's. And as a terrible mother, I was like, fine, you can eat the crap food. I'm going to try to eat better food because there's no way in hell she was eating anything plant-based. So I tried. Okay. So don't judge me, but it wasn't going to happen. So I go in there and look, and I decided to get a burger because I was starving and like it's to compare it to McDonald's, right? I wanted to get a burger.
Like a plant-based burger.
Look at this burger.
Is that right?
That's what I got. It's a Chipotle mushroom burger.
So the patty is made of mushrooms?
No, there's mushrooms on it. That's an Impossible burger.
Oh, okay.
The Impossible meat.
Yeah.
And then it has that orange sauce is like this chipotle sauce that, oh my God, was so freaking good.
But isn't the Impossible Burger processed?
Oh yeah, no, it's processed. I mean, the things that are in it, but it has less saturated fat.
Okay.
And the things that are in it, I mean, I wouldn't eat an Impossible Burger. I don't eat burgers that much anyway. I was just in the mood for a burger. Okay, so I was trying to make a healthier. And I'm not saying, I mean, it has less saturated fat. It has less sodium, I believe.
Fantastic. You're amazing.
I'm not saying it was healthy. Let's not go over this. I'm not saying it's healthy.
The place, the restaurant's name has raw in the title, which is why I don't know why they're serving a processed burger, but
right.
I think this is great that you've done this.
Well, now let me clarify. I chose the Impossible Burger. I'm still sharing this. Yeah. Okay. So you can choose other ones. So there's Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat. There's a taro mushroom patty. There's a black bean patty. I went with the Impossible because I was trying to ease myself into this. Okay. Like I could have gone way healthier, right? I could have gone with taro mushroom. I could have gone with a black bean patty. I did not. I was like, you know what? I know that the Impossible Beef is not necessarily the healthiest, but it's not contributing to the cattle environmental disaster that is the meat industry. And that was my point, is I was really trying to not eat meat. Now, it was okay. I needed a little more crunch in my burger. I wish there was like an onion ring in it or something, right? Like something to give me a little bit more crunch. It was a very soft burger, but it was good. And yes, Calvin, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm easing myself into it.
Yay, I love it.
And I'm trying like if there's a choice between a meat option and a not meat option, just not eat meat, not necessarily healthy, but just not eat meat. I'm going to try to go for it more often, not necessarily all the time, but more often. I did have chicken last night, so let's not fake the funk. Although I did go to Lenardi's and I got the fancy schmancy, like organic chicken, whole chicken, and I made it in the oven. So I'm trying, right? If I'm going to eat meat, not eat the factory produced meat, I have to pay a little bit more for it, but whatever. I'm just trying. And that's what I think is my point, is like, just give it a sec, give it a try here and there. And we would have. I love Brian. If our creator wanted us to be vegetarian, he or she would never have made animals out of meat, just saying, or made them so delicious, right? I mean, that's really the point. And I know, and Mark Thompson, our good friend whose show comes on after us, is he vegan or vegetarian?
I think he's vegan.
I think he's vegan too. So,
I mean, health benefits aside, he's very
animal focused.
Yeah. He is against mistreating animals in any way.
Right.
And so I have to respect somebody that feels that way and is willing to back it up with their lifestyle. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was, and although I will say, I'm really eating it because I don't like the idea of I was really grossed out about the environmental impact of animals and cattle and how much of the planet we give up to eat specifically beef. Right. But also, the treatment of these animals is really horrific. It really, really is. And so I'm just trying a little step at a time. And and I understand it's not for everybody. I really, really do. And is there a difference? Does he eat lab meat? If it's not, does he do that? Do you know?
He said he would. So when the recent stories came out about the lab meat out of Berkeley, we were talking about it. He's like, yeah, if it's not cruel to animals, and then I would, yeah.
Right. So, and I also picked up when I was at Lenardi's. I have not tasted it yet, but remember I was talking about that Miyoko's cheese.
Yeah.
So I picked up a little thing of the cheese spread. It was the cheapest thing that they had, and I didn't want to fully go all in on this and buy a bunch of stuff if I didn't know that I liked it. It's cashew cheese. It's a cheese spread, and so I'm going to try that today. I got the cheese spread, and I'm going to have it with some cracker, and I got some red pepper jelly. I love my red pepper jelly. And so I'm going to try that together and see if I can taste the difference. And if it's just as good, then hell, I'll give it a shot. Little things here and there are the way that I'm trying to make a difference. So I'm really trying. We have to care about our health. And yeah, so I gave it a shot, and it was not bad. So if you ever have a raw burger place anywhere, there's a bunch of them. Give it a try. The burger wasn't bad. They have smoothies. They have acai bowls. all kinds of stuff. So
Mm.
you just got to search it out and do it that way. All right, let's do some headlines. When we come back, we'll kind of keep it a little bit in the health realm. A big TV figure has made a health announcement. Mary Lou Retton. I know somebody was mentioning in the comments yesterday, and I didn't have time to talk about it. She was talking about her health scare. And there's a big question of, and we talked about this when we heard about it. Why is her daughter doing a GoFundMe? Doesn't she have money for health insurance?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll play a little bit of that. And I didn't realize, and apparently she was, and I'm going to, according to people that follow Mary Lou Retton, apparently she was very much against Obamacare, which is surprising of finding yourself in a situation in which you need health care. Also, where she lives and why she doesn't have any money. A lot of people speculating about that. Santa Clara County is making something available by mail. And then we're going to do what could go wrong, traffic edition. There's two stories that are making me laugh. And so we'll talk about those as well. Click the thumbs up button, show your support. And here's Kim with some headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
I'm sorry to bust you up the first thing in the morning with a picture of Trump, but there it is. Yeah. Well, on the Nikki Medoro Show, I'm Kim McAllister. Donald Trump says a president must have full immunity.
And if you don't, as an example, if this case were lost on immunity and I did nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong, I'm working for the country.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Right. We all know how that worked out. Trump spoke to reporters after a federal appeals court heard arguments on whether he's immune from charges that he illegally tried to overturn the 2020 election. Trump said it would be opening Pandora's box to political prosecutions if the case is allowed to move forward, calling it a threat to democracy. I love how he takes, the claim against him and flips it around and uses it on everyone else.
But
No, sir,
again,
you're the threat to democracy. Yeah.
he's not denying. I mean, yeah, he's like, I'm innocent. Then why do you need immunity? Then why do you need why does a president whose literal job is to uphold the law allowed to violate it? If you violate the law, then you should be held accountable. It doesn't matter who the hell you are. He wants immunity because he's a criminal.
Trump accused President Biden of using the Justice Department to try and stop him from becoming the next president. His lawyers argued their client's efforts in 2020 were within his presidential duties. What? No, I don't think so.
No.
All the other presidents, when they lost an election, they tried to stop it as well. They tried to suck it back in and try every way they could in a myriad of different ways to steal the election and stay in power. That was your duty, your official duties. Okay.
Yeah, no. Well, CNN was quoting this one senior judge, Karen Henderson, who apparently is the longest serving jurist on the panel and the sole Republican appointee. Okay. And Judge Karen Henderson was skeptical of Trump and saying that and the idea that he was acting within his official duties. She says, I think it's paradoxical to say that his constitutional duty to take care of the laws be faithfully executed allows him to violate criminal law. So a lot of people are saying, if she is even saying, what are you talking about? I don't know how good it looks, but again, I'm not going to put the cart before the horse here. Let's see what happens.
Moving on so that we don't have to see this picture anymore.
Thank you.
Let's look at Antony Blinken, because Antony Blinken, is Secretary of State, meeting with Israeli officials today in Tel Aviv. It's all part of the United States' effort to prevent the Israel-Hamas war from spreading further in that region. It is Blinken's fourth trip to the Middle East since the Palestinian militant group carried out a wave of deadly attacks inside Israel October 7th. That led to this all-out war that has apparently, and I don't know who's keeping track of numbers, but the word is that it's 20,000 people that have passed away and millions of people have been displaced. Blinken has vowed to continue to urge Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to do more to protect Palestinian civilians and make sure that humanitarian aid gets to those who do need it.
My daughter was actually asking me about all this because we were listening to the news in the car, and again, what's happening in Palestine with the number of people that have been killed in this conflict versus the people that were killed on October 7th, there's a huge difference, right? In the number of people who have been killed in response to what Hamas did in Israel on October 7th. Okay. So I don't want to say that what Hamas did is okay, but what Israel is doing is also not okay. There's innocent lives, children being killed. We need to do something about that. Like, those two things shouldn't be up for debate. Like, innocent lives should be protected. People that have nothing to do with Hamas need to be protected. And I understand the anger, the outrage that, the United States continues to help fund Israel and their attack on Hamas that is taking the lives of innocent civilians. I get it. But at the same time, like I said yesterday, we need to bring that to Blinken, to Biden, to people that can actually do something about it.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to this story about this man. Remember this guy who jumped over when he found out the judge wasn't going to go
Yes.
lenient on him? He
Yes. Oh my
leapt
God.
over the bench and
Not helping your
attacked her.
case, man.
No,
Yeah.
man, he was punching her. It was awful.
Mhm.
I mean, wild.
It was terrible.
Well, this man who was seen in this viral video attacking this Las Vegas judge has now been charged with attempted murder in connection with this attack.
Oh,
He was
wow.
also charged with more than a dozen other crimes, including 6 counts of battery on a protected person. This man accused of diving over the bench last Wednesday and injuring Clark County District Judge Mary Kay Holthus as she was sentencing him in an attempted battery case. The man faced Holthus again Monday morning, same judge. The woman
Wow.
attacked. I don't know. That seems like maybe there's a
Conflict of interest a little bit.
but yeah, you stood in front of her again. This time she was able to finish reading the sentence and ordered him to 19 to 48 months in prison in that case. Holthus says the sentence was not modified in any way after she was attacked. That was what she was going to hand down initially.
Right.
For the attack. That's what she handed down. So the attempted murder charges, she may not, it may be in front of a different judge. So on the attack on her.
Oh, I see. So she just
That
kind of
was-
finished what she started
That's right.
when she was
Mhm.
attacked. Now, I
Yeah.
will say, if you watch the video, if he was like kind of pleading his case, he's like, I'm working now. I'm trying, but he was facing some very serious charges. And I don't think
Mhm.
if you do the crime, do the time type of thing. And he was very, very upset. And so now his family is saying he has mental health issues and he needs help. And I do think there is something probably going wrong upstairs if you think a response to not getting probation is to literally attack and beat the judge. But again, you can't just let people like this roam the street without any sort of punishment.
Absolutely not. That's crazy. Okay. So Robotaxi ridership around San Francisco last year surged despite a series of accidents, including that serious one with that woman that was dragged.
Mhm.
Waymo, though, accounted for more than 152,000 driverless trips from September through November. 152,000 driverless trips, September through November. That's an
Yep.
awful lot. Cruise picked up 39,000 riders. Late last year, Cruise suspended all autonomous vehicle operations after an incident with a robotaxi that again dragged a pedestrian for several yards on a city street. But yeah, people are doing this in San Francisco. And I don't know if you heard the story yesterday, but they're thinking now, at least Waymo, because Cruise no longer operates in California, that the next phase of this is testing these robotaxis on the freeways.
Ugh, I don't know, man. I know, like, we can't stop this from progressing. It doesn't sit well with me. I'm sorry. I just don't like it. I feel like there should be drivers. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I know it's a little bit creepy and weird.
Mhm.
Um, so speaking of robotaxis and technology, California officials think artificial intelligence may hold the key to reducing freeway traffic in our state. So this
Okay.
may be the way to go with artificial intelligence, is what they're
Hmm.
thinking. Yeah. The California Department of Transportation is now asking the tech community to come up with proposals for how generative AI can help. The effort comes just months after Governor Gavin Newsom signed an executive order about exploring the potential benefits and risks of using generative AI in state government. What are they
No.
going to come up with? I don't know.
No.
I'm a
I
little
mean, then what do
iffy
we
on
need
this.
humans for? I mean, again,
Yeah.
I just feel like we are replacing people with technology, and then we're going to look around and be like, why are there no jobs for humans? Because we're doing all this crap. I mean, I think that when we talk about AI, it's such a huge umbrella of what we're talking about, right? Now, can it help? Can it enhance? Can it aid? Yes. Should it replace? No. I think the devil's in the details when it comes to stuff like this.
Well, what is generative AI going to say? If you don't want traffic, don't drive. So it's going to come up with, other what?
Or it could come up with different
Yeah.
design ideas for roads, and we'll talk about what could go wrong. That'll be kind of part of that. Like using it this way, is there something that we're not seeing, right? Like I could understand using it for a collaboration type of thing, but
Mhm.
not just be like, whatever AI says is the way we go. No, can we not do that? Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to work. COVID, big problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
The flu already dangerous enough. The Bay Area now dealing with a spike in COVID cases as well. Wastewater data shows the most infections since the survey began in mid 2022. The numbers more than tripled in most cities last month, reaching highs at treatment plants in San Francisco, Palo Alto, Nevada. This is all around Christmas Day, the wastewater treatment plant spike. The CDC blames holiday gatherings,
Yep.
travel, and a new variant spreading as well. A lot of people suffering from COVID right now.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so many people have been sick, and that I was saying, I think last week, that cough that I had that was not COVID, was not RSV, it was just this upper respiratory thing that's so common right now. So again, if you're gonna be in crowds, just wear the freaking mask. I know it can be so politicized, but it really is smart. You don't want to get this. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. Well, big excitement in San Francisco over possibly getting a panda. Their
Yay!
London breed first made the request to China's president during the APEC summit in November. She then followed up in a letter last month suggesting a partnership to host the popular animals. Several national zoos have recently returned their pandas after a 50-year conservation program ended with the Chinese government. So here's the question. If they're going to use pandas as a political tool, do you really want one here?
I just think they're cute.
They're very cute.
Although I will say this,
I love
I
them,
do,
but
I
I
do,
don't
I don't
want to
want to
be.
like have them in captivity. I want them to
No.
like live and where they're supposed to live and all that sort of
Mhm.
thing. I don't know. I just think pandas are really, really, really cute. Apparently, they're kind of an aggressive animal, though. I don't think they're all cuddly like we like to think that they are. But yeah, I mean. Look, we already have a relationship with China, whether we like it or not, right? So, can this help bridge something in one area while we fight in another area? Possibly. I don't
Keep your
know.
panda. I don't,
Kim's like, I don't want your cutie pewtie panda.
don't
No.
want your panda. Just keep it over there. Help it exist in the world. That's fine.
Kim says, I got to see Ling Ling. I think that was its name as a kid at the zoo in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've had pandas before,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they are cute. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Jimmy Kimmel
Mm.
continues to blast NFL star Aaron Rodgers for suggesting in any way, shape, or form that he would be named in court documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking case. In his first monologue of the new year last night, Kimmel called Rodgers Karen Rogers and a hamster brained man. He also said the New York Jets quarterback was mad at him for making fun of his top knot and lies about being vaccinated. Kimmel threatened Rodgers with legal action last week in response to the comments that Rodgers made on ESPN's The Pat McAfee Show. Rodgers said he will address the issue on McAfee's show today.
Yeah,
So this
whatever.
whole thing is heating up.
Oh, the monologue was hilarious. He was also saying he was calling out Aaron Rodgers for not graduating from college and everything. And
Oh,
he's like,
God.
Aaron got 2 A's. He's all, they were both in his name. I could not stop laughing at that joke. That was pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers truly believes if he does this for clout, and obviously his football career is on hold, if not over, even though he thinks he's going back on the field. He just I have never liked Aaron Rodgers, one, because football rivalry, and two, after the whole COVID thing, when he could have just shut up. He
Mhm.
just doesn't know how to shut up. It's like, you have a platform, you can use it for whatever way you want to. The way that you use it, I don't agree with, and I think you're an asshat. So Aaron Rodgers can kick rocks, in my opinion.
Well, lastly, apparently there's a new movie coming out about Jesus. Yep. Oh, goodness.
There's Jesus now calling Kim McAllister. Hello.
Jesus calling. Hello, Jesus.
Hello, Jesus.
Martin Scorsese, the director, famous director, says he has finished a screenplay for a new film about Jesus. It is based on the book A Life of Jesus by the same Japanese author behind Silence, which Scorsese adapted in 2016. Filming on this latest project is expected to start later this year, with Scorsese saying he hopes to take away the negative onus of what has been associated with organized religion.
Do we need another Jesus movie? Let me ask. I mean, The Passion of the Christ with
Mel Gibson.
Well, he was the director, but it was Caviezel or whatever the heck his last name is.
Mm-hmm.
That got a ton of attention.
Mm-hmm.
There's this show that my parents really like called The Chosen. That's a series about the life of Christ or whatever. I'm not making light. Everyone knows the story. Are we introducing something new here? Like,
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be, I don't feel like it's blasphemous to say I don't want another Jesus movie. Okay. Like, and who gets the royalties? Like, who's getting paid for this? I don't know. I mean, Martin Scorsese is Martin Scorsese, but is anybody asking for this? Who's asking? Is the Catholic Church going, hey, Scorsese, we need a little bit of an image refresh or something? I don't know, but I don't know who's asking for this. I don't know who's like, you know what we haven't had lately? We haven't had a good Jesus movie. I don't know, man. And again, I mean, we can make jokes all day. Like, oh, really? We have to do another movie that's already been done before. Can't we think of anything new? Probably not. Eric says, if you want to take away the negative onus, you need to start taking the evangelicals to task for preaching hate and worshiping Trump. Yeah, but again, Eric, you're right, but we've done that. I mean, again, we know this story. If you want to know the truth about these groups, the truth is out there. But if you don't, then you don't. Kevin says less about Jesus, more about the message. True. I think that there's all sorts of. Sorry,
boy, between my phone and your dog, we're just on a roll this morning.
Who is here?
Come on, Jesus. Let the noise stop.
Nugget, stop it. I'm working. Okay. I apologize.
This report is sponsored by you. No, not by Jesus. It's you. We rely on you to help fund the show. And so that means I'd love to direct you to our website, thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. The Patreon link is there. The PayPal link is there. Do you still have their list of favorite things up?
I do. I believe it's in the show notes. Every show, I do keep it up there. I need to add to more things now. I mean, I have all kinds of things that I can recommend, so I will definitely have to update that. But yeah, it's still up there. The link is in the show notes. So just look in the description of this show and you'll find all the links.
My husband bought a sleep mask yesterday.
Did he buy the manta mask?
No.
What the hell?
That's what I said. I go, listen, the best one. I know the best one. Why didn't you ask me?
It is the best one.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not getting paid to say this. I use it every single day. I've had 2. Like, it does not slip off of your face. It blocks out 100% of the light. It is so freaking comfortable. It has these pads so you could open your eyes if you need to, but it doesn't let in any light. Best mask, manta mask. It's in my list of favorite things. I'm telling you.
So yet another reason to go check out thenikkimedoroshow.com.
It is. Exactly.
Peruse around there, click around, see what you can find, and enjoy.
Exactly.
I'm Kim McAllister. This is The Nikki Medoro Show.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. All right. Let's talk. Did you hear about Sarah Seidner? Did you hear about her?
That. I did.
I'm going to play you a little bit of her announcement. And again, we were talking about health and taking care of your health. And, this one hit home close to me because my best friend literally just finished the radiation for what Sarah Seidner has.
I want to start by doing this and asking you a big favor. Just take a second to recall the names of 8 women who you love and know in your life. Just 8. Count them on your fingers. Statistically, one of them will get or have breast cancer. I am that one in 8 in my friend group. I have never been sick a day of my life. I don't smoke. I rarely drink. Breast cancer does not run in my family. And yet here I am with stage 3 breast cancer. It is hard to say out loud. I am in my 2nd month of chemo treatments and will do radiation and a double mastectomy. Stage 3 is not a death sentence anymore for the vast majority of women. But here is the reality that really shocked my system when I started to research more about breast cancer, something I never knew before this diagnosis. If you happen to be a Black woman, you are 41% more likely to die from breast cancer than your white counterparts. 41%. So to all my sisters, Black and white and brown out there, please, for the love of God, get your mammograms every single year. Do your self-exams. Try to catch it before I did.
You know, and obviously our thoughts and prayers and everything like that go to Sarah Seidner, but it is shocking. I mean, that statistic, 40% of Black women who are diagnosed with breast cancer will die. You know, and again, Karen's kind of taking the words out of our mouth. Wow, and our health system is the worst of any industrialized country. Exactly. It's just, you know, for a country that loves to say we're the best country in the world and everyone wants to live here, and we do have so many more opportunities than so many other places around the world, we really F things up that matter. You know what I mean? Like the things that really matter, we don't do well. And we don't do healthcare well in this country. We don't do healthcare well. We are bought and paid for by the insurance companies. You shouldn't have to die. You shouldn't have to go bankrupt because you get sick for things like this. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. My friend is the one my best friend had stage 3 breast cancer. She is officially cancer-free, thank God. But it was a tough year last year.
Oh, that's so good to hear, though.
Yes. You know, she has to take medication. I mean, the road isn't over, you know, but the surgeries and the reconstruction and everything like that. She's like one of the strongest women that I know. And she's such a role model to me and how you can kind of face adversity head on. And I was telling her this weekend, like, take time for you. Like, this is, if you believe in this sort of thing, this is the universe telling you to slow the F down, take care of yourself, because you know who's not going to take care of you is this country if you get sick. No. Okay. Unless you have great health insurance, which I hope that Sarah Seidner has. But you know who didn't? Mary Lou freaking Retton. Apparently, she was on the Today Show talking with Coda, Hotby, and she was talking about the fact of, apparently it wasn't COVID. A lot of people are saying, oh, it was COVID. Apparently it wasn't COVID. It wasn't RSV. It wasn't any of those things. Here's a little bit of the interview. But again, Mary Lou Retton, an Olympian, does not have health insurance or good enough health insurance to pay for what she was going through. Here she is.
Mom is in a difficult situation is hard enough. Mm-hmm. To wonder how you're going to pay for it takes that problem and compounds it by a million. What was going on for you when that was happening?
That's a great question. We were just thinking, if she pulls through, the last thing we want her to have to think about is paying off these bills or doing anything like that.
Mary Lou's daughters created an online fundraiser disclosing that Mary Lou did not have health insurance.
A lot of people were surprised and that you didn't have insurance. Yeah. And also kind of saddened them. It's like, how is it possible that Mary Lou Retton, who is America's sweetheart, isn't taken care of in that way?
Well, I mean, when COVID hit and after my divorce, and all my pre-existing, I've had over 30 operations of orthopedic stuff. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it.
So sad.
But who would even know that this was going to happen to me?
People get sick, Mary Lou.
I couldn't afford it.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that?
You know what? It does show you that so many people are all alike. In so many ways.
Yes. Life goes on and things happen. And at that, I just wasn't able to do it. I'm all set now.
you have insurance, you're good now.
Yes.
As Mary Lou's daughters prayed over her bed, doctors came in with a last-ditch idea to pump high-flow oxygen through her nose.
So then what happened?
You know, Hoda, you know my mom.
And so basically, obviously, you can tell that she's going to be okay. Hopefully, she's going to be okay. Now, I'm seeing a lot of people in the.
She's still on oxygen, like this many months later. Wow.
Exactly. Now, and I get it. A lot of people, you know, yes, she's a far right conservative. Apparently, she was against Obamacare. Eric's saying she elected not to get public health care. That's on her. In my opinion, it doesn't matter. She's a human being. She's an American. And in this country, you should not. It shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. I don't care what her politics is. And it is a little, I will say this. It's stupid for her to say, who could have thought? Every human being. That's the whole point of health insurance, is because everyone gets sick. Now, it might not be cancer. It might not be this strange respiratory problem that Mary Lou Retton has, but you get sick. People get sick. You get viruses. You get something like that. You injure yourself. You get in a car accident. These things happen. You don't plan for them to happen. And when they do, you need to get health care. And it should be affordable. It should be affordable. Other countries do it. And we look at these, socialism. Screw you. I want what they have. I want to be able to go into a hospital and get care and not bankrupt myself. I don't want, to sit at home and ration out my insulin or my medication because I can't afford to pay for the full amount. I want that. I don't give a about politics. I want to be able to live and to be healthy. I want preventative care to be covered for free so that I can avoid long-term health problems down the road. Because we know that it's cheaper that way. I want these sort of things. And yeah, somebody mentioned earlier, I don't understand why Republicans want people to get sick. I don't either. But they say socialism, and that makes people fall in line. And it's so asinine. It's so asinine. Yeah, Karen, it's all about the money. These insurance companies have our healthcare system and our politicians by the short and curlies, and we're the ones that are going to die because of it.
Well, you heard her mention that she has osteo stuff going on.
Well, yeah, from all the years of gymnastics and things like that.
So how does she manage without some type of healthcare? One wonders.
Yeah,
she's got to have all kinds of issues now.
Another issue that people were bringing up that I didn't think of. I guess she lives in Texas, and I guess the divorce laws aren't good in Texas. I'm not familiar with them. If anyone's from Texas and knows, so she might have gotten it in the shorts when she got divorced from her husband. I think her net worth is something like $2 million. Somebody looked it up, and her husband's is $2.5 million. So the Olympian is worth less than the husband. Now, I'm not saying, knocking all of Texas or people that live in Texas, but you get what you vote for, right? And so these things matter. The choices you make matter. And while I understand that it's easy to point to her and be like, well, you were against Obamacare, I want a healthcare system that works for people that want it or don't want it. You know what I mean? Like, you might not believe in a certain set of assistance, but when you need it, you need it. And if you take advantage of something that you were against, I'm not going to knock you for it. There was a reason. I'll take you're welcome.
Yeah.
If that's the way it is. But I don't want conservatives to die just because they were against Obamacare. I want them to get affordable health care.
She has to realize that not everybody in her position has the political notoriety, or not political, but has the notoriety enough or to get enough attention to have people donate $1 million to a GoFundMe account. Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she should be using this platform she has now to say, listen, I survived, but there's a lot of people who can't pay their medical bills who don't have everyone donating.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do to help them? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, to turn it around and say, and use your platform for good.
Yeah. I mean, and maybe she should be saying, I was wrong. The healthcare system in this country is broken. We can't depend on X, Y, and Z. We should have universal healthcare, single payer. Like, just make it simple. Make it simple. The more complicated something is, just means that the people in charge want to screw you over. They don't want you to take advantage of it. That's why they make it complicated. Taxes to healthcare to everything in between. The more complicated it is, it's because they want to get you. They want to screw you. They want you to pay fees or fines or penalties or whatever. Okay? It could be easier. but it benefits the small few to make it complicated. And people die. And people die. And it sucks. It really, really sucks. And, I'm not going to wish her ill. I want her to get better. I want her to kind of change her mind. I would love it if this kind of brush with death changes her perspective on something like universal health care. I'm not going to put money on it.
No.
But yeah, Liz, it is crazy to think that she is worth $2 million and can't afford health insurance. It is. I'm also thinking, and I don't know this for sure because I don't know her, rich people live outside their means all of the time.
Yep.
They have fancy homes and flashy cars, and they are broke. They're broke. So it's not actually hard to believe that a former Olympian who's worth $2 million is up to 1,000 bills.
She was on Dancing with the Stars. What happened to all the
that's
Wheaties
right.
money? Where's the Wheaties money and the Dancing with the Stars money?
Well, I mean, how long is the Wheaties money going to last? I mean, they pay you once. They're not going to pay your residuals on a cereal box that ain't out anymore, right? So that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't. It goes to show that you can be really successful early in life or throughout your life. And then a medical bill or a medical issue can knock you on your butt. And in this country, as rich as we are, that shouldn't mean the end of you. It just shouldn't. And it's not radical to say that. It's not communism to say that. It's being a decent freaking human being, right? That's being pro-life. Okay? That's being pro-life. Taking care of people when they're sick and not bankrupting them. That's what it is. Speaking of healthcare and what officials are doing to keep people safe, here in my county, Santa Clara County, they're going to start mailing people by request, of course, Narcan. Yeah. So, of course, this is, it reverses the effects of opioids, fentanyl specifically as well. Naloxone is what you would be mailed. Let's see. Now, apparently, according to the Mercury News, the life-saving medicine comes with out-of-pocket costs ranging from $70 to $150. We already have it here in Santa Clara County, free Narcan in several libraries. And now the mail order effort is the latest way to get these kits into homes of people that need them. My question to you, Kim, is, and I know you don't live in my county, of course, but if it was offered in your county, would you get it? Would you request it right now with the family situation, the age of your kids, everything? Would you get it?
I think so.
I want to get it. And
I
feel
I need it. I mean,
I hope I don't need it.
You never think you need it, right?
Exactly.
It's always the people that don't think they need it. And all of a sudden they have an emergency and there it is. I mean, you driving into San Francisco, a couple days a week or whatever, you don't know if you're going to see somebody on the sidewalk or you're driving by or whatever. You probably need it more. But in the case of just having teenagers around and kids' friends and you don't know, and you could save someone's life. So yeah.
Well, and I mean, and again, I don't believe that it would be my child that would need it.
But we never believe that, right?
We never believe that. Or what if they have a friend over who we don't know? Maybe they pop an Adderall and it's not Adderall, right? Or what? And maybe not this age, but maybe next year or the year after. High school moves quick, right? All of a sudden, things you didn't think you'd have to even deal with freshman year, you're dealing with junior year.
So, I mean, I think we think we won't need it. We might need it, and it doesn't hurt to have it, so might as well.
Exactly. Janet says, I would get it and carry it with me in case someone needed it.
Yeah.
I would get one for my daughter to carry just in case. That's what I'm thinking too. And so you just have to request it if you live in my area. You can go to the Santa Clara County website. They'll have it. You're supposed to also have training on using it. I can't imagine it's that difficult to figure out, but you're supposed to. My daughter's school, actually, you can go. And I didn't go to it. And now I'm rethinking it, but whatever. They had a night where you would learn about fentanyl and drug use amongst teens, and anybody that went through the training and got a free thing of Narcan, which still blows my mind that this is the age that we live in. But I'm also happy about it because it is the reality. We cannot like the reality. We can hate the reality that fentanyl is so widespread and put in so many drugs that, while they are still drugs, shouldn't kill you by using them. But it is a good response to something like this and reducing the stigma. It's like, oh my God, somebody's ODing or whatever. Get the Narcan, save their life, get them in rehab, get them some sort of help. because we don't want this to continue to happen.
It's my understanding that you can't hurt someone by giving them Narcan. Is that
Right.
right?
I would assume that the training isn't to avoid hurting them. It's just so that it's effective, maybe? Like you're
No, I
doing
mean,
it the right way?
that would be my concern, would be, how do I know this person needs Narcan, or that,
Oh,
you
I
know,
see what you're
what's going
saying.
on with them warrants a
Right.
Narcan delivery? Like, how do I know that what they're suffering from could be alleviated by giving them Narcan? But from what I understand, you can't hurt someone by giving them Narcan in this situation.
I
So
see. Yeah.
you err on the side of caution, right?
No harm, no foul, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so, yeah, I'll probably look into it, have it. You know, and it would behoove my children, who probably, I would imagine, even though it makes me uncomfortable to think this way, may have more of a likelihood to encounter someone overdosing, maybe at school or in the bathroom of something, so that they're trained on how to use it as well. It's like, heck, if you could save somebody's life, I mean, how many, not that I want my child to save somebody that's ODing's life, but it's better than letting them die in front of you. It's better than doing that. So yeah, if you live in my county, Santa Clara County, and then look into your own county. I mean, Santa Clara's been putting them in libraries for a while, I guess. And so, why not learn? You know what I mean? Why not learn how to handle it? I think that's a great idea. I really, really do. Okay, let's do a quick segment before Kim's news that I like to call "What Could Possibly Go Wrong?" Traffic edition. Okay, so I've got two stories. One I wanted to talk about last week, and I'll get to that one second. But this first one is now, okay. On one hand, what I'm about to show you, I think is a good thing, right? Like, people bring bicycles with them. They ride bicycles, they ride public transportation. These things happen. I just feel like so many things are going to go wrong with this that I don't know if I would want to encounter this on a daily basis, especially if I rode BART, because BART right now is going to start allowing bicycles on escalators. Here's their video showing them how to use it. Like up and down the stairs.
For the first time ever, bikes are now allowed on most escalators throughout the BART system. This update to the bike rules approved by the BART Board of Directors comes with some safety tips.
Here we go.
The most important thing for customers with bikes in the BART system is that they're able to maintain control of their bikes at all times, which may mean choosing not to bring it on an escalator if there are doubts.
Yeah.
If you do take your bike on an escalator, yield to others. As you get close, look around, and if other customers are lining up, let them go first. Next, always stand to the left of your bike. And as you get on the escalator, stay far enough from the right side so that your pedal doesn't hit the side. If you're heading down, once your front wheel is on the escalator, keep the wheel straight and engage the front brake as you step on. As your front wheel starts to go down, follow it and take one step down and forward
Already too
beside your
complicated.
bike.
Just hold on to your
Always
bike.
keeping straight upright on the steps with the front brake on. At the bottom, when your bike levels out, release the brake and push your bike forward. If you're going up, once your front wheel is on the escalator, keep the wheel straight, and as you step on, be ready to engage the rear brake. Once your front wheel starts to go up, engage the rear brake and take 2 steps back and down beside your bike. Again, always keeping the bike straight, upright on the steps and the rear brake on.
Okay, so basically they're just giving you directions on how to bring your bike on the escalator. How many people, and I'm raising my hand very high in the air, I think this is going to go terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. Now, Jim says BART riders always use the escalators, BART bike riders, and piss off everyone as their tires hit people. So I guess now it's just allowed by BART. Look, bikes are a pain in the butt to take up and down stairs, to take up and down escalators. And where I'm speaking as someone who, you know, we ride our bikes a lot, not necessarily on escalators, but there's no way in hell I think this is going to go well. I think the backups, now that they've given the green light to bring your bikes on escalators, I just imagine more and more people getting pissed off. Absolutely getting pissed off. Yeah. Square says it's complicated. Yeah, pretty much. Jim says nobody has manners anymore. Yeah. It's going to take, look around, be courteous. How many people do you know when they're getting on public transportation aren't in a rush trying to get to where they're going and catch their train? Right. Now I take Caltrain a lot. They have the bike cars, so there's no seats. So you can just kind of load it in and lift it. That's not complicated, right? That's just lift up your bike, get it on the train, stand with your bike. Sometimes you can hang it if there's the hanging area. You're just going to have to stand with your bike if it's that close. But I just feel like, so either that, another person was responding, what do you do if somebody is trying to steal your bike? Right? Like, what if somebody stole the bike and is running through BART with the bike? What happens if somebody loses their bike? One person says, this is a horrible idea for safety and efficiency. Standing on the right, passing on the left doesn't work if the person and their bike are blocking the whole escalator. That's a really good point. Another person says, I really enjoyed it when someone carrying a bike lost balance and came tumbling onto us at the Embarcadero station. It's a great community building experience. So yeah, I don't think, I understand that they're trying to increase ridership, right? So how do you increase ridership? Allow people with bikes to go on the escalators, don't shun it or do anything like that. And hell yeah, Caltrains. I mean, I can't judge BART. I've only been on BART once in my life, but I
Why
love
don't they
Caltrains.
just say if you have a bike, you can use the elevator to go up and down? Right? You don't have to haul it up the stairs and down the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that you can still do that, or you've always been able to do that. I think that it takes longer. Waiting for an elevator, and then obviously there's other people. What if you can't fit? You have to wait for the next one. Those sorts of things. Yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting to see how well people follow the rules of. But I don't think that it's going to. I just really don't think that you should allow bikes on escalators. I think that there's too many people running up and down trying to get things done. And yeah, it's going to be an S show. Randy says, I saw the BART GM interviewed last night. She was saying that we need to continue to overspend on the BART extension to San Jose because we already started it. Yeah, they're not going to stop high-speed rail. They're not going to stop the BART extension to San Jose. That's never, ever going to happen. Once they throw a certain amount of money on something, then it's going to happen. Yeah. Now, here's another thing that they spent money on. Now, this is in my neck of the woods. This is in South County, right? Like San Benito County, south of like Gilroy and everything like that. It's called a turbo roundabout. Have you seen the video of this turbo roundabout?
I've seen a picture, but not the video. And
okay, now ABC7 did an excellent job.
All right.
It is so I have driven in this area many times. If you go, let's say, to LA or something like that, you may have passed this area. It is an S show, especially because big rigs use it a lot of times. It's one lane roads in each direction type of thing. And then you have to switch. What could possibly go wrong? I imagine a million freaking accidents. Here's the report from ABC7 about this turbo roundabout. There we go.
Drivers in San Benito County are navigating through a new innovative roundabout. It's called a turbo roundabout, and it's designed to improve safety. It's located at the intersection of Highways 25 and 156 between Gilroy and Hollister.
Because it saw twice as many collisions as similar intersections in California.
Crazy. Caltrans made this video for background on the project and instructions for drivers. You enter similar to a regular roundabout, but there are different features within the 3 lanes.
This is accomplished with 3-inch lane dividers that guide drivers through the roundabout
Okay,
while discouraging lane changes.
Caltrans said the purpose of the project is to reduce the severity of collisions and fatalities at this intersection.
Depending on where you're headed, you'll select a corresponding lane as you approach.
Drivers have to choose a lane before entering and follow signage on where to exit. Lanes are wide enough for large trucks. Caltrans said over the next few weeks, and weather permitting, they'll be installing overhead signs, striping final lanes, and placing pavement markings in order to open all lanes.
Yeah, do not open without the overhead signs. And I'm saying overhead signs like half a mile before they even approach this thing, because I could only imagine the S show it's going to be as people are like, what the hell is this thing that I'm about to encounter? And now I have to choose a lane. I can't change lanes once I've chosen the lane because there's these 3-inch dividers. How do I get out of it? So then people are going to go over the probably the dividers because people are a-holes. And this is also an area in which you are constantly going to have newbies driving it.
Right.
Some people never head down that way unless they're going to LA or whatever. So they're not used to it.
Yep.
And so on one hand, I understand they had to come up with something. Okay. I was talking to my husband about it. He's like, you need a flyover. Like but that's very complicated and it's difficult and you have to shut things down to build it and all those sorts of things. But it's choose your lane before you get in is just an accident.
I will say that they are right, and that area is notorious for jackknife big rigs and accidents that shut down the whole road and have horrible injuries associated. But I don't know if they're banking on us being able to really handle driving like this. And Americans aren't used to the roundabout situation. We have roundabouts in Petaluma. There's 3 or 4 of them that they put in, and they're not this complicated, and people still can't figure it out.
Exactly. Who do I yield to? Do I yield here? Do I turn off here? I mean, there's a roundabout.
Can I go? Yeah.
I go to Kaiser for my daughter all the time, and when you make a left into it, it has a little bit of a roundabout, so you can go right, or you can go straight, like kind of towards the emergency room, or you can go all the way around to go into the parking lot over here. People mess it up all the time, and now you have people at freeway speeds,
right?
Because think about this: freeway speeds coming up on some weird ass turbo roundabout, choosing the lane early. Like, it is going to be an S show, but we're stuck with it because they built it.
It's going to be a massive, people will slow down, way down when they get to the roundabout, trying to figure out which lane to be in, and you're going to have traffic backed up in all different directions as people are like, huh? What?
It even watching the video, I was confused, right? I was like, so if I enter there and then I have to go, and my question is, if you make a mistake, how easy is it to get back to where you need to go?
Yeah.
So go with God. Good luck. I personally don't think this is the right answer, but it's an answer. And so we'll see how it goes. But I'm not holding my breath that it's going to work out quickly, smoothly, I should say. All right, let's do a couple more headlines. And then when we come back, I can't stand this woman, Laura Ingraham. Fox News, total asshat. Just can't stand. If there was a face, and if I was a violent person that I wanted to punch, she would be one of them. But she said the quiet part out loud when it comes to the border crisis. And I've said this before, and I say it again. This is the MO of the Republican Party. I will criticize, I will criticize, I will criticize. I will not solve. All you do is bring me problems, Republicans. You never bring any solutions. So I will play you what Laura Ingraham says. And then on the other side of the political aisle, Mayor Eric Adams suing some bus companies because of the migrant crisis. And is that the right way to go either? We'll do all of that. But first, let's take a look at the news with Kim McAllister.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Let's start this time around with Bob Menendez, he of the gold bars. He is pushing back against the indictments against him for alleged corruption. While speaking on the Senate floor today, the Democrat claimed he is being persecuted by federal law enforcement. The embattled senator denied charges that he allegedly worked as a foreign agent for Egypt and used his power to aid the government of Qatar. He also slammed increasing calls for his resignation, arguing he has yet to have his day in court.
Well, I mean, he should. I'm not saying that, but again, like, if the evidence is there, man, just own up to what you did, right? So stop.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Own up to what you did? What kind of person are you? Boeing is expected to stress safety at an all-hands meeting with employees today. This is going to be a fun meeting. The meeting comes just days after the panel of a 737 MAX 9 jet blew off an Alaska Airlines flight not long after takeoff. Both United and Alaska Airlines said Monday they found loose bolts during inspections of its 737 MAX 9 fleet. Where's the bolt guy in the meeting? Is he like, okay, bolt team, what happened? No.
I thought I was supposed to. No, man, no.
Were you or were you not responsible for QA on the bolts? No.
All right. No.
That's going to be ugly. The World Bank says the global economy is slowing for the third straight year. In a new report, it projects global growth to dip to 2.4% from 2.6% in 2023. The bank's latest global economic prospects report warns escalating conflicts in Eastern Europe and the Middle East could significantly impact energy prices and inflation, along with economic growth. So it's slowing. Our world economy is slowing. Social media platform X will launch peer-to-peer payments this year. The Elon Musk-owned company making the announcement in a blog post today. X says the new feature will unlock more user utility and new opportunities for commerce. Musk has pushed for X to become an everything app since he bought the company for $44 billion back in 2022. X did not provide any further details on how the payment system will work or when it will become available.
I'm not giving Elon Musk any of my payment information. There was a story about how that they're concerned about his past recreational drug use on how well he can run the company. He is a troll, and I want X to go away. I'm going to say it. I think that it needs new leadership. It needs new leadership, but I'm not giving X, with all of its lack of safety protocols and everything, any of my payment information. It's not happening.
I mean, what about, you want X to go away? What about Tesla? What about SpaceX? What about...
I mean, I don't own a Tesla. I think that they've made, I'm not knocking the technology. Musk did not create. I mean, he changed the name of Twitter, but he didn't create Twitter. Dorsey for that. But SpaceX, Tesla, the strides they've made in EV and space exploration and sending rockets and, reusing the boosters, that is great. It's excellent advances, right? Although some people say that Musk just steals these great ideas from people below him, but I digress. The guy is unstable. He is unstable, and he can go away. Honestly, there are a lot of brilliant people out here, just kind of like Trumpers who think that there's no better candidate, nobody but Trump. There's somebody other than Trump. There's somebody other than Elon Musk. There are very smart people out there. They're not the only ones. And we can move on and not have to deal with their nonsense.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. It could be kind of messy. He can't seem to really implement things, it seems like, in a way that is a smooth rollout.
He has lost so much money for X. He should be fired. Well, I mean, not fired. He owns it, but he should. I agree with the board. Like, what the hell is going on with this guy? And they're losing bleeding money. So
yeah, I mean, when you talk about people's money, and being responsible for the payments and everything. Although he did start PayPal, right? That was his first thing, wasn't it?
I didn't know that Musk started PayPal.
I thought that was his first deal.
Did
he? Am I wrong on that? Tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah.
Oh, no, you're right. You're actually right. Musk founded an online financial service company, X.com. How funny. Which later became PayPal. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that that's how he started.
So maybe he's got money covered. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that's when he was bald, though, Kim. So all that PayPal money made him get some hair. So
is that what happened?
Yeah, that's what happened.
A new state law banning guns in public places is on hold again. A judge first said last month it was unconstitutional and could not be enforced. Days later, an appeals court reversed that, but over the weekend, yet another ruling reverted back to the first decision, allowing those with concealed weapons permits to carry a gun in most public places. Governor Gavin Newsom says this dangerous decision puts the lives of Californians on the line. He plans to appeal, as some law enforcement leaders say they're ready to challenge this too. Yeah. A new list is out, ranks the best and the worst states to raise a family. You know the best one? Massachusetts.
All right.
Personal finance company Wallet Hub looked at factors like family fun, health, safety, education, and childcare, affordability, and socioeconomics. The top 5 states: Massachusetts, followed by North Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, and New York. Arkansas, Alabama, West Virginia, Mississippi, and New Mexico were at the bottom 5 of the worst states to raise a family. Right in the middle, someone might call it the sweet spot. I don't know. Numbers 23 through 27, Wyoming, Missouri, Hawaii, Oregon, and California. We're in the middle of the pack.
And that's fine. I mean, it's really expensive out here. I would say that that's one of the hardest things. We're a gigantic state. We got gigantic problems, those sorts of things. So I could see,
Massachusetts, huh? All right.
I've never been to Massachusetts. Have you?
No, but I kind of want to go to that little tail jutting out into the sea.
When it's not like hurricane season, but yeah.
When it's not hurricane season.
And not now. Oh, it's so cold over there right now. No, it needs to be hot. Summertime.
Take me to the beach. That's fantastic. Oh, and lastly,
Oh, Grogu.
Star Wars fans can look forward to a new film hitting theaters in the not so distant future. Lucasfilm announcing The Mandalorian and Grogu will go into production later this year. The movie is based around the hit Disney Plus series The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
He's
I
very
like
cute,
that.
that Grogu.
Yeah, very, very cute. They, my husband really loves The Mandalorian. I watched the first season and I really liked it, but I just never watched it again. But I should maybe catch up. So it is
My
very cute.
son has the stuffed animal that looks like this,
Mm-hmm.
and its eyes are so lifelike that it's creepy. Like, you got to turn that thing facing
You're
the
all,
wall.
yeah, that's gonna
I'm
give me
putting away
nightmares.
laundry in here and it's watching me. That's creepy.
That's funny. That's funny.
This report is sponsored by you, which means we do rely on you for support. Please find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com, Patreon, PayPal, it's all there. And of course, the super
right
stickers,
there.
super chats are open, and we thank you for whatever you can do. I'm Kim McAllister. This is the Nikki Medoro Show.
Thank you, Kim. All right. In the last half of the show, let's talk a little bit about the migrant crisis and what's being done, the force, and also with you, Calvin. Look, and I've said this before, we have a problem. We need to figure out what to do. I honestly, and President Biden has already, there was one article back in October of last year. Biden said they'll begin deporting Venezuelans who have illegally come to the country and have no legal basis to remain. Asylum is legal in this country. Our asylum system is a bit broken when you kind of just take somebody's name and say, okay, come back. And who says they're going to come back, right? I mean, obviously there are things that need to be fixed. There do. But who does it serve, my friend? Who does it serve to solve the crisis? Well, Laura Ingraham, who bitches and moans just along with the rest of them about the migrant crisis and the wave of all of these migrants coming in and flooding the United States. You know what she doesn't want? She doesn't want President Biden to solve this problem.
So this is a hot potato that McConnell has tossed to Langford and that he should toss it right back. Let McConnell negotiate it. Think of it this way. Why on earth, after the Democrats did everything in their power to flood America with millions of indigents from across the globe, would Republicans ever give Biden an opportunity to take a victory lap and then pretend that he's done anything to solve this problem? And by the way, if House Republicans do the smart thing and say no to this raw deal, Speaker shouldn't even consider it. He should say it out of hand. He's rejecting it. The Biden campaign is going to hit the airwaves with the message. You probably already made the commercials. See, the border's their fault. Bottom line, you can't. So this is
so that's the question. It's okay. So we're putting out an olive branch. We're trying to work with you on the problem that you guys. It is a problem, but you guys will not focus on anything else. It's only this, right? And Laura and many other Republicans, I am sure, were saying, no, we don't want to work with you. We're not going to give you a victory lap. We're not going to let you claim victory in solving this problem. We want it to continue to be a problem so that we can solve it. But you know what? We're not even going to solve it. When we do it, if we're going to follow the Trump way, we're going to compound the crisis by being inhumane to people as a way of, quote unquote, solving it, right? We're going to build a wall that won't work and waste all kinds of money. We're going to lie to the American people about who's going to pay for that ineffectual wall. It's ridiculous. What I do think will work and is way more complicated and unfortunately takes a hell of a lot of time is you need to go to the countries in which these people are coming from and try to, in some way, shape, or form, make it better for them so they stay there. Does that make sense? That's what we have to do. If you don't want people coming here, then you have to make it better to be where they are. They're escaping something, whether it's poverty, whether it's violence, opportunity. You don't think that people want to stay in their home, in their culture? You think they want to come to a country in which it's going to be hard, but anything is better than what they're experiencing over there. But that takes time. It could take a generation, right? It's hard to tell somebody that is living in the street, in the gutter, surrounded by violence and threat of murder, right? Stay. It'll be okay.
It has to be such a huge decision for someone to uproot their entire life, their entire family, everything
Exactly.
they've ever known and make this type of move. That's huge.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it. How bad does it have to be? I mean,
Exactly.
honestly, just think about our lives. Like, how bad would it have to be in order for you to try to smuggle your 2 kids across the border
Mm-hmm.
to a life that you don't know what lies ahead? People have told you opportunity lies ahead, but hard work is coming your way, but there's an opportunity to maybe make some money and to not live in fear of whoever's going to come for your kids or suck them into a cartel or be violent or what have you. I
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just what it must be like to have to be faced with that decision.
Exactly.
Sometimes, and I think, thank God I don't have to make that choice. And how can I judge people that do?
Exactly. And here's the thing. I mean, think of all the things that we face, right? So living in America, we have the threat of school violence, drug overdoses, and in many neighborhoods, crime. How many people are actually like literally picking up and walking in many
Yeah.
cases to another country, right? If it's not that bad here because people are not fleeing like they are these other countries. So think about that. They're walking, they're hungry, there's danger. Some of them are getting assaulted, some of them are getting killed, some are left to die in the desert. And then we look at these people like, ugh. Obviously there's something going on. Now, no, and I understand. And Ricky, you're right. America cannot continue to try to change the world, in my not so humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But we do, in many ways, influence so many things around the world. We have our fingers in so many things, whether it's elections, whether it's influence, whether it's what our money funds, whether it's what our money doesn't fund.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not clean here. There's no halo over our country. And it's not wrong to say that, right? I mean, you cannot be a quote unquote superpower without getting your hands dirty. And I'm saying that really nicely. So we do things and we don't do things on how it benefits us and our safety and our wealth, right? And all of those sorts of things. That is the dirty truth.
Yeah.
So to think that we can look at these countries and think, we have no influence there. Oh, hell yeah, we do. We already do. Now, can we make things better? Can we help? I don't know if we can help in every country where people are fleeing. I don't. I'm not saying that we can. But I'm just saying that if you don't want people to come here, if there's anything you could do to make their lives better over there, maybe try that. Yeah, Vilma asks a good question. How will we know when the border is, and I'm just going to put it in quotes, even though you didn't, controlled? How do we define a controlled order or a controlled border? That's a great question. And I would love for Republicans to ask that. What I hate Republicans saying, shut down the border.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? What does that mean to you? Is it only the southern border? Right? Is it only the southern border? Do we not care about the other borders? Do we not care when people fly in? I mean, what do you mean by shut down the border? Or are you only talking about brown people walking? Because that's what I really feel like a lot of people are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The images that you see of people flooding the border are on foot. They're brown and they're poor. Is that who you're talking about? Let's just be honest about what we're talking about then. It really is. I don't think that we'll ever fully know every single person that steps foot in this country. And because they come from many different ways. Land, sea, and air, right? So how do we know who's here? Well, hopefully by creating systems in which they have to identify themselves and they're not fear of being deported. That's how we do it. People say, oh, sanctuary cities, you're allowing these people to live in this country illegally. Well, if you want local crimes to be solved, these people have to feel safe talking to law enforcement. If you want to know who's driving cars on a road, we have to make it okay for them to get an ID, right? So there has to be this kind of push and pull. And if you really don't want people coming here for work, then don't go after the person seeking the work. Go after the person hiring them.
Right.
That person might look just like you, right? And again, and I know I understand what you're asking, Randy. How is the U.S. supposed to go down and quote unquote fix Venezuela? I'm not saying they can fix Venezuela. But what I am saying is there a way of helping the people make money, feel safe? I don't know. That's why I'm not president of the United States. But if Venezuelans, let's just use them as a group of people that are flooding across the border, and we don't want them to, what would be your solution? What would you try? I would try to say, what would keep you in your country? What can the United States do to make things at least a little bit better for you in your country? And start there. I'm saying it like it's easy, and it's the most complicated thing in the world.
Jobs and safety.
Jobs and safety. Yeah, you have to be able to make money and not die.
I mean, I guess jobs and safety are an issue here. Look at Oakland, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Look at San Francisco. I mean, maybe we're better in the jobs department and the opportunity department. Safety is still an issue. It's not like people will come here and find that everything is hunky-dory.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, I don't know.
Lori makes a good point too. Maybe prioritize the countries where we historically contributed to their instability first. We did a lot of damage in Central America. Excellent point, Lori. Like I was saying before, our hands are not clean in why situations in other parts of the world are the way they are.
Yeah.
And so in a way, we do have a responsibility to quote unquote try to fix some of the problems there. Is it going to work universally? No, of course not. But we have to try, because if not, they're going to continue to come. Now, like I mentioned, and this came out earlier this month, but New York City Mayor Eric Adams is suing 17 charter bus companies that are coming from Texas because they don't. Basically, they're busing asylum seekers to New York City and just dumping them, right? They're not giving anybody a heads up. They're just dumping them to kind of mimic what's happening at some of these border towns. Adams says New York City has and always will do our part to manage the humanitarian crisis, but we cannot bear the cost of reckless political ploys from the state of Texas alone. The mayor has sued the bus companies who, since the spring of 2022, have been used by Texas Governor Greg Abbott to ship asylum seekers to New York, with officials showing them maps, giving them barcoded bracelets with their destinations clearly marked, and then checked by drivers to make sure they land in the city. Basically, New York wants more than $700 million to compensate the city for the cost of shelter, food, and healthcare. Now, I don't like the busing of people, but I also think if Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, wants compensation to shelter and provide services to these people, then it's only fair that these border towns get the same, right? I mean, these people are coming. We don't know what to do about it. The federal government should be stepping in. I do believe that. I do believe that there is more that can be done, specifically financially, to help these border towns that are the first stop once they cross the border. You can't change your location. They are bearing the brunt of this problem. The federal government should be providing it. And I would even say for national security, if you don't know who's coming, then that is a problem. But it doesn't mean you treat these people inhumanely. It doesn't mean that you lie to them, tell them that they're getting one thing if you send them to this location and it's not there. Right? There is a compromise. There is a solution if we could take the politics out of it. But the problem is, politically, this crisis continuing serves Republicans. It's something that they could physically point to day in and day out, because it is happening, to say, look, Biden's not doing anything about it. And that's why I started with Laura Ingraham. But they don't want Biden to do anything about it anyway. So stop acting like you give a crap. Stop acting like this isn't just a political ploy. You know, it just serves them. And it's annoying. Even, what is it? I think it's New Jersey. Yeah, New Jersey's governor, Phil Murphy, is also doing the same thing. It's asking charter bus companies to give New Jersey 32 hours notice before bringing migrants to the state. He says more than 1,800 migrants from the southern border have been dropped since the beginning of the year, basically. Murphy says the move has allowed bus companies to work around an executive order limiting where buses can drop off migrants in the city. And that came from New York's Mayor Eric Adams. It's, I don't know. It's really sad to see, though, Kim. Really, you know, it's one of these situations where I wish there was an easy answer. Even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's been an outspoken person, in support of migrants and things like that.
Sure.
She told CBS New York, I think it's not just about President Biden. It's also about Congress, our government, and our governance. The first thing we need to do, I think, is actually be able to provide the resources so our system as it's currently designed can function. Right now, because of the Republican-controlled House and what's been going on, obviously, politically, some of these basic systems are not even being processed. We don't have our judges to process the visa applications. We don't have our paperwork processing so people can get work permits. And I mentioned that before last week. You have to wait 6 months if you come to this country seeking asylum to even get a work permit. So, of course, you need services. It's a broken system.
What does it say to people coming here? And I get that they're coming here illegally. I understand that, undocumented. But what does it say to people that get here that we don't want you? We don't want you in Texas. So we're going to put you on a bus and we're going to send you to New Jersey. Oh, but they don't want you in New Jersey. So in the dead of night, when they're not supposed to send them, send people during hours that, there's no one to greet you on the other side, we're going to send you into New York and they'll take you and they want you. But P.S. There's nowhere for you to stay. There's nothing for you to do here. So good luck, Godspeed.
And I had mentioned this also, with Ellis Island, that's kind of how it was. Like, yeah, you can come here. We'll put your name on a list, but don't seek any services. We're not going to take care of you. We're not going to house you. You better have family or, beg somebody for a job.
Yeah.
Now, while I think that that's a little harsh, right?
I don't know. Would you go to a new country expecting them to take care of you? Or would you go to a new country expecting that you are going to take care of yourself?
Exactly. And maybe that's also what the Democrats have done wrong is, yes, you can seek asylum here, but that doesn't mean we're going to take care of you.
Right.
And so if you come here, you need to have a family connection. You need to have something set up. We can't do that for you. We are the land of opportunity, but you got to find your own opportunity. I don't know. I also feel like there's a lot of jobs around this country that we don't have anybody to do. Can't we put these people in those jobs? I feel like I wish that we could take the politics out, which I know is impossible with this topic, and just lead with empathy and be like, okay, where are you coming from? What do you want? Because I really do feel like even if, you're just coming here for a job, that is a human need. I need to be able to provide for myself, for my family. That's all anybody wants to do.
To approach it that if I was in dire straits, how would I want to be treated?
Exactly. And they're trying that in New York at the Roosevelt Hotel. That's where they go. They're really trying. I believe it's in New York. I think it's New York. Maybe not Chicago. I think it's New York. And it's kind of like an Ellis Island where they're trying to, get these people the services, the food that they need. But at the same time, if you make it, this is going to sound terrible. If you make it too welcoming, then everyone's going to come at the exact same time. And that's not sustainable. The whole world, and there's violent places, all of the violent, poor places in the world cannot come to the United States. And so that's why I go back to, if there's something the United States can do to help make life better in some of these places, not solve all the problems. That's not possible. But we can't have everybody come here. It's so freaking complicated. I don't think the messaging needs to be harsh, but I also think the messaging needs to be like, yeah, you can come here. We'll give you a meal and a good night's rest, and then go with God. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know, but we can't provide services for the world. We can't even provide services for ourselves, going back all the way to the beginning of the show. We can't even provide healthcare to every single American, let alone taking care of everyone around the world. It really is so hard. And I hate how hard it is. I really do. And so, we'll continue to follow it. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again, sharing the pain, having places like Texas and other border areas try to show other parts of this country what it feels like when a ton of people come that you are not expecting. It's genius in not a good way or a bad way, but it is a way to show people that this is what we're dealing with day in and day out. And it is. And if we're being fair, we might not agree with their politics, Okay? I'm not saying I agree with Greg Abbott. Ugh, can't stand the guy. But it is smart to show people who have no clue what you're dealing with, what it feels like when it happens. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that is a fair discussion and debate and experience for people to have, but we have to do something about it. We really, really do. All right, that's our show. Tomorrow, I'm really hoping I get him. He didn't return my text message. But Chip Franklin, I'm trying to get Chip Franklin to come on regularly. I'm hoping Wednesdays. So we're going to hold off. And he has a ton of things, as you know.
Yeah.
Chip Franklin has opinions about everything, but he has his hands in a lot of different podcasts dealing with a lot of the issues that we talk about on the show. So hopefully we will have him on tomorrow. So tune in for that. I want to thank some people who donated to the super chat. We really appreciate you guys because we're 100% crowdfunded. Joe Fong is starting us off with a $10 donation. Thank you, Joe. Spencer came with $5. Thank you. Scott, $10. And he wrote, love the food shorts. I shared on Facebook because who does not love those tasty cream cheese crescent rolls? I loaded mine with cinnamon, drop or two of maple syrup. I am telling you,
right on.
My literal most viral food short I ever did was that candy cane crescent roll. Over 2 million people. My best friend just made it over the weekend. She's like, it was so freaking good. And it's so easy. So you can find that on my YouTube channel, on my social media feed. So thank you, Scott, for the $10 donation. And then Doug came in with a $5 super sticker as well. Thank you, Doug, so much. You guys, please, before the show ends, click the thumbs up button, share the show with your family and friends, and make sure they subscribe. The Patreon. Number one way you can support the show, become an official Medorable. Go to theNikkiMedoroShow.com. TheNikkiMedoroShow.com. You'll find the Patreon link. PayPal, if you want to, just go to PayPal.com. Click the send button and just type in the email, TheNikkiMedoroShow@gmail.com. We have merch at the Nikki Medoro shop. My list of favorite things is in the show description, so you can always find it there. And I really, really do appreciate you guys. All right. Oh, Walter just came in with a $5 donation.
Aloha.
And an aloha to you too, my friend. All right. Join us again tomorrow. Stay right here for Mark Thompson with Kim McAllister. And then, of course, the After Party Live with John Daly and Kim McAllister. Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.